1492 before Christopher Columbus decided to sail the ocean blue.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. I know it's been a minute, but I am back with another video. Today I wanted to talk about the Moors, what happened in Spain, and most importantly, what happened in 1492 before Christopher Columbus decided to sail the ocean blue. Okay, so back in the day around 410 AD, a Germanic tribe of Goths, more specifically the Visigoths, actually sacked Rome, and they ended up settling in Spain, where they ruled for about 300 years. So this time is actually known as the Dark Ages, which is like a full-out decline of culture and education. 99% of Europe was actually illiterate during this time, even kings, and they did not bathe on a regular basis either. So the story is there was a merchant by the name of Ilian or Julian who lived in Tangiers amongst the Berber people, but actually traveled back and forth to Spain and did business with Visigoth King Roderick. So when his wife died, he basically told the king, hey, I have a daughter now, I won't be able to travel back and forth, I can't leave my daughter at home by herself. And the king said, hey, let your daughter come here, she can live at court and I'll educate her, right? So of course Julian was all for that. He ended up letting his daughter come live at court with King Roderick, and she was raped. Some accounts even say that she was pregnant, but either way, when Julian found out about this, he was infuriated. He came back, took his daughter, and went straight to the Moors. Okay, so the Moors can be described as a mixed group of Muslim North Africans, West Africans, even sub-Saharan Africans, Arabs, and Berbers, which is a mixed group in itself. About 7 years after the death of Muhammad, Muslim Arabs actually invaded North Africa, and Islam spread throughout North and West Africa. There were many different dynasties and Islamic states, and they all had different leaders and agendas and belief systems. So yes, they were under the Moorish Empire and they were considered Moors. They just can't be counted as the same people. So historically, when you're speaking about Moors, it depends on what time and what area you're speaking about. For the purposes of this video, I'm mainly referring to the Umayyad dynasty, who were the ones who initially invaded Spain, as well as the Almohads, who later came to rule in Spain. So back to Julian. So basically he wanted revenge on the Visigoths, so he went to the Moors and basically gave them the game. He told them that Spain was weak, he gave them ships, and he led them straight into Spain and basically helped them defeat the Visigoths relatively easily. A quote, if I may: "The reins of their horses were as fire, their faces were black as pitch, their eyes shone like burning candles. Their horses were swift as leopards, and the riders fiercer than a wolf in a sheepfold at night. The noble Goths were broken in an hour, quicker than a tongue can tell. Oh, luckless Spain." End quote. So the Moors actually brought Spain out of the Dark Ages. They introduced science. They encouraged study and education for all in areas like astronomy, physics, mathematics, chemistry, geography, art, philosophy. At the time, Europe only had two 2 universities, and the Moors had over 17. They had 70 libraries. They had streets that were actually paved with raised sidewalks and 10 miles of street that were lit by lamps. And this is hundreds of years before Paris ever had a paved street and before London ever had a street lamp. They had over 900 bathhouses, and remember I told y'all that Europeans didn't bathe on a regular basis. It's actually said that even a poor Moor would rather have a bar of soap than soup. So the great Mosque of Cordoba is actually still one of the architectural wonders of the world today. Everyone wants a Moorish archway in their house nowadays, right? The architecture alone is incredible. The Moors also introduced paper to Spain, as well as Arabic numbers, and they also introduced new crops like oranges, lemons, apricots, figs, peaches, sugarcane, dates, ginger, pomegranate, cotton, silk, and even rice. The Moors also brought a lot of knowledge and information from other countries like China, India, and Arabia. They brought different inventions like the compass and the astrolabe. This was known as the golden age of the Moors, okay? Their influence on Spain brought along the Renaissance of Europe 100%. They will not teach you that in school. So the Moors and the Christians were basically fighting back and forth for the entire 700-year rule of the Moors. In 1184, there came to be a new caliph that went by the name of Yaqub al-Mansur. Now, he became ruler when his father was killed in Portugal. He basically vowed to avenge his father's death, and he ended up defeating a lot of Christian cities and taking like 3,000 captives back to Africa. Now, when he was going to Africa, Spanish Christians took advantage and they basically tried to take back some of the Moorish cities. So when he heard about this, he came back, he defeated them again. This time he took them and actually sold them into slavery in Africa. So they tried it again, yet another time. He crushed them so hard, hit them so hard that they stopped. That was the last time they tried him. Unfortunately, he ended up getting sick and he passed away in about 1199. So by the 15th century, the Christians had become strong enough to basically take back most of the territories from the Moors, and the last stronghold was left standing in Granada. In 1479, Isabella I of Castile married Ferdinand II of Aragon. I don't know, maybe you've heard of them. They're actually known as the first king and queen of Spain, and their marriage unified Christian Spain. They are most famous for the Reconquista, which was basically the brutal conversion of Jews and Muslims into Christianity across Spain. They're also known for hiring good old Christopher Columbus. So they actually knew exactly where he was going, and they knew exactly what he was going to do. He took Moorish navigators with him, and he had a contract that basically promised him 10% of all the goods that he found, a noble title, and governorship of any land that he encountered. And you know the rest. When he returned back to Spain, he brought gold, he brought treasure, and he brought captives. So they were very pleased, and by 1493, Pope Alexander VI actually signed the Bull Inter Caetera, which was a decree that gave them permission to conquer, colonize, convert, and enslave the native people of the Americas. And yeah, we pretty much know how that ends. Fun fact, did you know that Christopher Columbus actually made 4 trips to the Americas? The first one we know was a big success. He brought back a lot of goods and people. So they let him come back the second time. However, when he arrived in the Americas the second time, he found that a lot of his men had been slaughtered by the native people. So he founded a second colony, but when he went back to Spain, he actually didn't have as much. They were not pleased, but they let him come back a third time. He found that even his own Spanish people and the native people did not like his rule. Because they were getting so many complaints, the king and queen actually sent for him to be brought back in chains. When he returned to Spain, the charges were dropped. He actually convinced them to let him go a fourth time, and they agreed because of their greed to let him go a fourth time. They instructed him to come north. He did not listen to their instructions. He went back down towards Central America. He ended up getting his ships taken, and he was actually stranded in Jamaica for like a year, which is crazy. Anyway, long story short, he died poor and kind of a loser, and I mean, he really didn't discover anything. So the remaining Moors in Spain were actually kicked out and dispelled, and eventually all over Europe as the Crusades continued. Today, the term Moor is used to describe Arab people that reside in Mauritania and Mali. What happened to those Moors that were described as being black as pitch, that even the most handsome one was as black as a cooking pan? Where are they now? Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Click that little bell thing that everybody always tells you to click so you can know when I upload a new video. And I will see you guys the next time. Peace.